What is going on, guys? It's PC Gaming Guide here, and I'm bringing you guys another FPS guide. This one's for Fortnite Season 10. This will help you with stuttering and hopefully increase your FPS by quite a bit. I found it's helped a lot. I don't have the top of the line PC, but I probably have like a mid-range one, and this has helped me a lot. I play on a 144 Hz monitor, so I need every frame I can get. This is going to be just a quick short video, so the first thing you're going to want to do is open the Epic Games Launcher. Scroll down to settings here, click on it, scroll all the way down until you find Fortnite here, click it, and then this I believe is unchecked normally if you haven't done any command line arguments. So you're going to want to click this, and I have these Fortnite commands right here, and you're going to want to copy these. I'll leave them in the description down below to make it easier for you guys, and just paste them right in here. And that's all you have to do. We're done with the Epic Games Launcher. Next, you're going to want to come down to your Windows bar. You're going to want to search Game, Control Game Mode for optimizing your PC games. You're going to open this. As you can see down below in my right hand corner, I do not have Windows activated, so this isn't an option for me, but I have heard that this helps with FPS a lot. So you're going to want to come down to Game Mode if you aren't already here. There's going to be an on-off selection, and you're going to turn this off. It helps a lot, so I do recommend you guys doing that. And then another thing is, which I can do, is the game bar. This is usually on. You're going to want to shut this off. And the next step is this is optional. I've had it help me a lot, and I've heard other YouTubers say that it helps them a lot. So I might as well just include it in the video. It's called the Intelligent Standby List Cleaner. I will leave a link down in the description below. You guys can download that, and you can donate here. It helps the creators out a lot. These guys put a lot of time and effort into creating these, so I would recommend donating if you do have the time and money. But it's a very simple program. Once you have it downloaded, you just press Purge Standby List, and you're good to go. You can close it, and the next steps are going to be taking place inside the Fortnite settings, so I'll see you guys there. Once you guys have Fortnite opened up, I'm sure most of you have done this a million times, but come up to settings, and this is where you're going to find everything else kind of important. I'm sure you guys have all this figured out already, but I'll go through it quickly just for anyone who doesn't know or is new to Fortnite. So if you do know this, you can probably just skip ahead a little bit. I'll leave a timestamp probably either in the description or on the video. You guys can skip ahead quickly. So the first thing is window mode. You're going to want to always play in full screen, unless for some reason you need to play in windowed or any other thing, but full screen is definitely the best way to go to get the highest FPS. And then the display resolution, I play at 1920 by 1080, and most people do. There's some players who play stretched, but I was just going 1920 by 1080, and if you still are having troubles, turn this down to something like 1280 by 720, which will help out your PC a little bit. Frame rate, I have this at unlimited. I see the best results from having this unlimited. But if you guys do have a 60 Hz monitor, I would suggest turning it all the way down to 60 Hz so your CPU and GPU aren't working any harder than they actually have to. There's no point in running more frames than you need, and it'll help keep your computer cooler, not cold, your computer should never be cold, but cooler if you have this at a lower frame rate. 3D resolution has a huge impact on FPS. If you guys are running on a really low end PC, I would suggest turning this down to whatever you can tolerate. It gets pretty bad if you go any lower than like 80%. So if you do have an okay computer, I'd leave this at 100 for the best experience. And then we'll move down to the distance. I would put this at medium. I wouldn't do it near. That puts you at a huge disadvantage. Far can start to take a bit of FPS away from you, and epic you'll definitely see a little bit of FPS impact if you put it on epic. I find medium is the best of both worlds. Medium is a good way to describe it. Shadows are a huge part of the FPS. If you have them on or even epic, you can start to see a huge dent. I would just leave these off. Honestly, I think the game looks better with it off. And then everything else I would leave off or low. You can switch these up a little bit, but the game looks perfectly fine where it is. I know a lot of pros play with this settings with all of these off and then medium. So it's totally up to you. Play around with these, see what works best for you. And then VSync is the next option. Unless you have a VSync monitor, have this off. I do not have a VSync monitor. I have a G-Sync monitor, so leave this off. If you do a little research, see if you have a VSync monitor. If you don't, have this off. Motion blur, again, it'll affect your FPS. Not an insane amount, but I like to play with it off. Most people do. If you are new to Fortnite, I would turn this off. If you aren't new, you probably know that everyone plays this with this off. And then show FPS. This is just personal preference. It'll show the FPS down here. This is just to see if your computer's doing anything weird or unusual. My FPS is a bit lower right now because I'm recording. I have a medium kind of mid-range PC, so it isn't great for recording and playing at the same time. That's why I don't usually do gameplays. But show FPS, if you're curious, just leave it on. It has no effect on your actual FPS. And then some of you may have another option down here for multi-thread rendering or multi-core rendering, one of the two. I would put this on if you do have the option. I don't have the option because I do not have a good enough PC. And that is okay if you don't either. I play Fortnite at a great FPS without having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a computer. So that's pretty much it for the Fortnite settings. Again, pretty self-explanatory. You guys can skip this, or probably I have already skipped this. So we're gonna go back out to do a little notepad editing. I'll see you guys there. And the last part is you're gonna want to come into your PC. It's usually in your C drive. You're gonna find Fortnite game, saved, config, and then you're gonna go to the Windows client. You're gonna find this is the only file in here. This is the game user settings. You're gonna right click it. I mean, you could click it. It will open up with a text file or a text editor, which is a bit harder to read, but you can still do it with text editor. An easy way I found is getting a program called Notepad++. If you do click on it just regularly, it will open up with Notepad, but you're going to want to open it up with Notepad++. It makes it a bit easier. We're going to start at the top here. There's really only two settings that we're going to be changing in here. We don't want to mess too much up here. The first one is should be bshowgrass equals true. I have it on false right now. This is what you want to change it to. You're going to change it to false if it is on true, and then you're done there. You're going to want to go all the way down to the bottom here, and you are going to find foliage. Oh, it's right here. Foliage quality equals, it should say 3 to begin with. Automatically it should say 3. You're going to want to put that at 0. This will help with the FPS quite a bit. And then once you've done that too, those are the only two settings we really need to go into. Nothing too insane. You're going to come up here. I've already saved it, so this is gray, but you will have to press this to save. You're going to exit this, right click on this, right click on the game user settings, go down to properties, and then click on read only, and then whoops, you're going to want to go properties, read only, apply, and then OK, just to make sure. And what this does is it makes sure that Fortnite doesn't overwrite what you have just changed in those game files. So if there is a new update or anything, your settings won't be changed at all. If you ever do want to go back to the original settings, I do recommend saving a copy of this somewhere, or just remembering exactly what you've changed. Other than that, Season 10, there isn't too much to do here other than the regular stuff we just went over. I hope you guys have a great time playing out there. I hope this helps a lot. I do have a written guide to this. It'll be down in the link. There'll be a link in the description where you guys can go read what I've pretty much put out with images. If anything doesn't make sense in the video, go refer to that. It'll help out a lot. Or if you are coming from the reading portion of this guide, welcome to the video. And if you guys did find this helpful, please leave a like. I'm trying to get better at these videos, and that's all I have to say. See ya.